everyone, and welcome to Cellular Healing TV. I'm your host, Meredith Dykstra, and this is episode number 153. And we have our resident cellular healing specialist, Dr. Dan Pompa, on the line, of course. And today we have a very special guest, daughter Olivia Pompa. We are so excited to have you on the show. Olivia, I think you've had a few appearances on Cell TV, but this is your first kind of solo interview. So this is
I'm kind of excited.
Welcome. Yes.
Awesome.
All about you today.
Yeah. She just came off the ski slopes, and
my hair looks so
I
bad.
dragged her here to do an interview, so of course she hates me right now, but so be it. We're going to bring that.
I hurt myself too.
I know.
I'm icing my knee right now.
We literally had like 2 feet of powder, and
I hiked to the top, 20-minute hike to the top, and skied down, and that's where I hurt myself.
So let me ask you a question, and this will feed, because Meredith's going to do most of the interviewing, but so did you eat food before you all this hiking and all that stuff?
No.
Hasn't eaten food yet today. So
all I've had is a cup of coffee with a little bit of cream. That's it.
Yeah, and she did all that skiing and hiking because she's fat adapted athlete. That's cool. So anyways, Meredith, that's just a little promo to the fact that my kids do what we do, right? So
that is true. Well, you guys walk the talk, but I know that fat adaptation did not occur overnight. So because there's a story behind this, and I know with all of us who have transitioned over into being fat adapted that it takes some time, and there is a story behind all of this, and I know you have an amazing personal story. So let's take it way back, and I'd like for you to kind of share a little bit about your health journey and how things started. I know you have a twin brother, Dylan, who has been on the show as well, and you guys have a really interesting story with your health. So why don't you kind of take it back and share when you first started to kind of notice symptoms and how it progressed?
Yeah. So well, when I was little, I definitely watched Dylan experience a lot of his health problems at a really young age. I didn't, and he can explain that more just with testosterone. How do I explain that?
Yeah, no, I mean, Dylan with each vaccine got worse, and males, their testosterone has more of an exaggerated effect on the toxins in vaccinations, especially mercury. Right. Girls have their estrogen actually has a protective effect. So you have one that's causing more exaggerated effects and the other protecting. So that's why, by the way, you have boys on the autism spectrum 4 or 5 to 1 versus girls.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, it was kind of difficult for me when I was little, always watching him experience these health issues. But, thankfully he got his health back slowly, but surely. But then, as I started to enter into puberty and I started experiencing a lot of health issues. I started, becoming allergic to things that I hadn't been allergic to before. Mm-hmm. I started gaining a lot of weight. And my number one thing that actually really made me driven to bring my health back was my skin. I had terrible
typical
acne.
Teenager. That was the skin that did it, right?
Yeah. And it affected me as a person just because I was not as confident in school. And so, one day my dad said to me, look, you need to take grain and sugar out of your diet. And so I did. And, it took me a minute to really adjust, seeing all my brothers always eating, grain. It was kind of hard, but I've actually been grainless ever since. And my skin is perfect. And it's the moment I took grain and sugar out of my diet. And
and they were raised on a certain diet. Okay, mm-hmm. So we adopted them. For those who don't know our story, we adopted Dylan and Olivia at age 7. Their parents tragically died, and so they were raised on a certain diet that wasn't. We'll just say it was a standard American diet. Right. Then they came to us, and we were so mean that we put them on the diet that they were raised on.
Yeah, so I guess that's kind of a cool thing to talk about too. Is when we first were taken in, we would get in trouble for, chewing unhealthy gum, or I would hide my candy from school, and I just didn't understand it. It didn't click why I couldn't eat a bag of Doritos from school or whatever. Yeah, everyone else did. Why couldn't I do it? But, obviously I'm thankful now, I understand. But going from that adjustment to all of a sudden, never eating Halloween candy or, that was kind of hard too, especially to take grain and sugar out of my diet on top of that. So,
but you know, I mean, when they were a certain age, we controlled their diet in the house, right? I mean, of course, they went to school and did certain things, but you guys ratted each other out. You know, the other kids would be like, Olivia had something I saw, you know, so a lot of that happened. But, you know, pretty much though, they grew up from age 7, you know, on until they were old enough that we just let them make their own decisions, right?
Yeah.
And I have to say 100% of them went and started eating,
yeah.
Maybe not as bad as the standard American diet, but you definitely opened their eating up to other foods.
And that's when,
and they all paid the price.
Yeah, no, I did. I gained a lot of weight. My skin was horrible. And that's when finally I took grain and sugar out of my diet and my skin cleared up and I finally got it. I was like, okay, diet is key. You have to fix your diet. And so I did. And I've literally been grainless ever since. And, you know, I started grainless, but then I started watching them do ketosis 2 summers ago. And so I was like, okay, I'll do it. And oh my gosh, I had the most incredible experience with ketosis. I had so much energy every day. And I mean, yeah. How else?
And then when did you start intermittent fasting?
Same time.
Yeah. So about 2 years ago.
Yeah, because it was a lot easier for me to get into ketosis intermittent fasting.
That's true.
So I was eating around 2 o'clock. I even got my ex-boyfriend doing it. I got everyone doing it. All my friends, they all had incredible, you know, energy and were able to work out longer. It was awesome. It was a really
you know, you said something just yesterday. You were like, you know, intermittent fasting, even like there's days where you just eat 1 meal a day, right? Like I do. And it's so easy to be in ketosis, right? Because you can eat carbs with dinner. You said you eat your squash and, you know, more healthy carbs. And it makes it that much easier. Intermittent fasting, even if you're eating just 2 meals a day, it makes it so easy to be in ketosis, no doubt about it.
Yeah, so basically 2 summers ago I had done ketosis and I did it for 6 months and I had incredible results. I looked incredible. I felt incredible. You know, I was detoxing at the same time, so I had more energy while I was detoxing. And I went to Europe. So I actually studied abroad for an entire year in Europe. And while I was there, obviously I couldn't do ketosis. We could not eat the gelato and pizza. And so for a year, I actually didn't do ketosis and I was eating grain all the time. And granted, the grain is healthier over there, but I gained a lot of weight back. I did. And so when I got back from Europe, you know, I got back into ketosis and I've actually lost almost all the weight that I gained. And I feel great. I'm intermittent fasting. I mean, I'm fasting before 2 summers ago, I would fast till 2 during the day. You know, and now I'm fasting till 5 every day.
Yeah.
So my body is well adapted.
Efficient.
Yeah, more efficient. It's awesome. It's incredible. I have incredible energy. I'm going to the gym every day, lifting way more than I was 2 years ago. And so it's just really cool to see my body adapt again. So yeah.
Yeah, you know, all my children are just living lab rats. You know, we send them off to Europe and we fatten them up and we bring them back home and we see what happens. Yeah. Now, listen, if I went to Europe, I'd be eating pasta myself if I went there for 2 months, right?
Oh, it was so good.
Yeah. So it is better pasta. Actually, there's some remarkable difference though in the pasta there and the pasta here.
I did. I did notice a difference.
You did?
Oh yeah. I remember I would go there and I would have a plate of pasta and after doing ketosis for so long, eating such a grainless diet, every time at home that I would eat grain once, I would get bloated and I would feel sick every time. But in Europe, I could eat it every day. I could eat it twice a day and be fine. And it's, you know, just another point of how, you know, screwed up our food is here in America that, you know, everyone should go grainless because, you know, the food is just so unhealthy over here.
No, so, sprayed with glyphosate.
That was something awesome that Europe taught me too.
Yeah,
was to definitely not eat the grain over here.
Absolutely. Okay, so because I know where you want to go, and I'm going to let you do it, but I just for fun, guess what this is? This is Ketonics.
Oh, you got one of those.
A breath meter. So what you do is you go.
Santa, bring that to you over.
And then just for 20 seconds, it'll show ketones.
I'm not in ketosis right now.
Yes, you are. It'll blow. Watch.
I'm not. I had corn
seconds.
Yesterday.
No, it doesn't matter. She doesn't understand. Watch. No, you go like this. And then you put your lips on it, and then you blow. I'm trying to teach them how to do it. Oh. These are about $150, right? So I'll use myself as an example. I'm about next week, I go back into ketosis, right? So, but even now that I'm not in it, I'm probably eating about 75 to 100 grams of carbs a day.
I had my carb day yesterday.
Yeah, we did that. I witnessed that. That is true. But anyways, in the morning, would definitely not be, it would be green in color. And then I blow it like yesterday afternoon, then I was in the yellow phase, which means I was probably about 0.5, 0.6 in blowing ketones. So you're able to measure, instead of doing the finger prick, you're able to use this as a gauge. It's just cheaper. I can do it all day long. I keep it here just for fun. So now that I'm going into ketosis, I've been kind of monitoring myself out of ketosis more, and I just going to see the differences. But she will blow ketones. So here, put your lips on it, and you go and exhaust your breath, maybe 20, 30 seconds of a solid breath, and deep. So take a deep breath in and then blow. No, you have to tightly. I don't want to do it. You have to put lips around it and then blow.
And for those of you who are just listening on iTunes, they're using a Ketonics breath stick to measure ketones. So if you're just listening, that's what's happening right now. And Olivia.
Yeah, exactly. So we're measuring breath ketones as opposed to blood ketones, which is the blood in the, and I'll give it a minute. The blood in the breath are the most accurate ways to assess it. So.
Do you get the actual point measurement of the ketones?
So what color is that? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So she's about 0.5. That's basically where I was. You're about 0.5, 0.6 ketones. So, you look at the colors. You don't get an exact point, right? You can get online and then it'll tell you the colors, and then you count the flashes. And then when you count the flashes, it'll give you a range of where you are. So you just kind of get used to it after a while, and then you can start to read where the ketones are.
I need one of these.
So yeah, it's really cool.
I'm gonna get one.
Yeah, and you can do it multiple times, right? Unlike the paying for $2 to $4 per strip, it's just it's just a way to do it. So it's accurate. It's just not point on, right? You don't get your 0.7, right? You kind of get a range knowing that you're in or you're out. So, but anyways, just wanted to show that for teaching's sake. So, but okay. So you had a great thing. You said, okay, how does someone do this in college?
Right. I'd like to take it back even further, because you guys had a lot of information that just boom, boom, boom happened. And I'm sure our viewers are thinking, well, wow, I mean, what was the time span that all of this happened? Because it seemed like a flash for you, Olivia, but just to take people back to, when you kind of first started on this journey and then you kind of went off of it. And I'd like to kind of know the time frame of it all, so people can kind of gauge and have some realistic expectations. And especially, maybe some teenagers or parents of teenagers who are watching too, to kind of just see the time frame of how it all worked for you and how you transitioned into where you are today.
Yeah. Well, as I said before, the first time I did ketosis, which was about 2 summers ago. 2 summers ago. I got myself into ketosis. Sorry?
How old are you now?
How old
20.
am I? 20. Yeah. So when
20 now.
18,
When you were 18. Okay.
Yeah, when I was about 18, almost 19, it took me probably a month to really, strict no carbs, under 50 grams, to get myself into ketosis. And then, really into it and really become fat adapted. It took me, 5 months probably?
Yeah, maybe longer. Yeah.
Maybe even longer. And then that's when I went to Europe, was right after that.
Mm-hmm.
And so I got out of it. And for a whole entire year, I was not in ketosis. I didn't do ketosis at all. And so when I came back from Europe, it even took me even longer, I think, the second time. Don't you think?
Our dog's barking. Yeah, so they didn't close the door. It did. But she thought, like many people, it took longer to become efficient, right? And then now, like I said, she can go to 5 o'clock intermittent fast without eating, ski all day, have energy, not even get hungry.
Yeah.
Whereas before, this girl here, even when she took grains out of her diet, she was eating 5-6 meals a day. Not meals, eating 5-6 times a day, right? Just like most people, she would eat. As a matter of fact, she would get so cranky when she didn't eat. Why? Because blood sugar dropped, right? She needed to eat. She was a sugar burner.
Yeah,
she screwed, just like most teenagers, they screw their mitochondria up. So she needed to eat all the time and look out if she didn't eat, because she's going to rip heads. But now she has she's just controlled.
Yeah, and I mean my first couple months really trying to become get myself into intermittent fasting, I was miserable. It was not fun. Like not eating till 2:30. Like I did not enjoy that whatsoever. But once I got myself there, I loved it. Perfect time to work out in the morning. It was awesome. I love it. I love it so much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's hard. The journey's hard for sure.
Yeah, being on the other side though is really amazing. And so I'm wondering, okay, so you went off to Europe and you were in Spain and had this, amazing adventure and had all of those wonderful foods that you enjoyed, but what's it like now being back in college, and how do you maintain your health? And when, there's all these temptations around, and I don't know, I think back to college, just lots of cheap beer and bad pizza and just, lots of junk. So of course,
I wish I had my friends here to vouch for me, but I don't eat like that, and I never will. But so that's why I always have to have a kitchen. I have to have a kitchen. And so I cook mine every meal. I don't eat out because I go to school at Florida State. I'm in Tallahassee, and they don't have any healthy restaurants. So I don't eat out. I eat every meal at home. For my late lunch, I'll have eggs. I cook eggs with veganese, lots of good fats, and lots of butter. I eat pads of grass-fed butter with my eggs. And for dinner, I always cook. And my brother's actually right down the road for me, so I cook for him too, which is really nice. But my friends always say to me, like, you cook all the time. Like, how do you do that? And I'm like, well, you got to do it when you're trying to eat organic chicken. Yeah.
Priorities.
Yeah. So, for me, I guess I definitely put that as my number one priority. So I spend a lot more time cooking, and I spend a lot more time, driving to Whole Foods. But, regular college kids they won't do that. So, my advice is for them, do it. I don't know. Value. You have to value it, I guess.
Get off your lazy patoots.
Yeah. Once you get in the habit of it too, like it becomes a real habit, coming home and setting time. And here's the other thing too. Here's another thing is when I cook, so I'll buy a whole pack of organic chicken. I'll make like 6 chicken breasts, and that's my whole week of food, or like whatever. So it's kind of like, yeah, they'll make an excuse. Oh, I don't have time to cook. Oh, I don't want to, like blah, blah, blah. Like, there's ways to do it where you can prepare. It's, what is that food? What is meal preparation or something? What's the word? I don't know. There's ways to do it. And then they also say, oh, it's too expensive. There's also ways to shop.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. When I was in chiropractic school, I had those rice cookers, right? It was a steamer, a pressure cooker. I would put like my chicken in there or whatever it was, right? And then I would put my vegetables in there, and it would be done. I'd come home and I would have like my meal, and I was going to school and working, and I still managed to eat well. Like her, all the guys I worked with started seeing the difference, right? And they made fun of me at first. They were like, oh, look at that, right? And it's like, and then by the end, they called it the Pompa program, and they all jumped in on it, and they all shred all this weight, and their health went through the roof. And many of them are still eating that way today. Like you.
I have a funny story, actually. So I just joined a sorority. And, when you first join a sorority, it's like you don't know all these girls and you're slowly getting to know them. We went to Disney World one morning, and I didn't know the girls I was with very well. And so obviously they don't understand how I eat and how I do my life. And I had just gotten back from Europe too. So like I said, I was miserable adjusting, getting myself fat adapted. And so, I would be waiting to eat until, 3 o'clock during the day, but we were at Disney World so early. I was so hungry. But I knew I can't eat. I have to push through it. And I said, I just need coffee, right? Because coffee really helps curb your appetite in the morning. It's like the number one thing that really, really helped me get into intermittent fasting really well. And so we get there to Disney World, and I'm just hunting for a Starbucks. I'm just like, I need to get some coffee. And all my friends are like, oh, why isn't she eating? She's anorexic. Like, oh my gosh. Of course, you get anorexic thrown around all the time, which is, no, it's not anorexia. It's intermittent fasting. And I try to explain it, and they don't get it. I'm like, okay, I just need some coffee, like, guys. And then the other thing is that I had brought 3 hard-boiled eggs in my pocket. Right?
That's how you do that.
To Disney World.
Everybody does that.
Going on rides, and we're there till like 6 or 7 o'clock at night. So I knew I had to bring food, and I'm not going to eat a hamburger there and French fries. So I bring my pocket full of hard-boiled eggs. And to this day, my friends, I mean, they're like my best friends to this day, but they remind me of it all the time. They're like, you were the girl that brought hard-boiled eggs, and all she wanted was a Starbucks coffee. Like, we thought you were anorexic, and like, and that, you know, I literally had hard-boiled eggs sticking out of my pocket. And that's like how desperate I was, how valuable, like,
shows dedication,
yeah.
Right? I mean, who goes to Disney World? I'd bring my own food. I'm not eating that, right?
I know. So yeah, it's just kind of like, people say, oh, you're in college, it's too hard to eat healthy, but no, hard-boiled eggs fit in your pocket, I promise.
Well, if you're looking for an excuse, you always find one. So that is very inspirational, and I love that dedication. So when you kind of mentioned you have had a lot of influence on your friends as well, can you kind of share there as to how kind of your lifestyle and maybe some of the things that you've been sharing with them have had an impact on some people that you know and care about?
Yeah, no, definitely. Lots of my friends, actually. I have a friend, here's another story, one of my friends, I've actually mentioned it before, I think in one of our shows. My friend Evan, we studied abroad together, and I told him one day, I was like, you can't burn your butter. You know, you can't burn your butter or else it becomes a bad fat. And so now that's the joke. Every time I see him, he goes, Liv, you know, this morning I burnt my butter. And so it's just kind of cool that, like, you know, all my friends know now.
She polices them, right?
Yeah, now my friends know.
You're going to make a good oil bag.
Yeah, no, all my friends, they show up, they're eating ranch dressing. I'm like, you know, that has canola oil in it. Come on. Like, now my friends don't eat that anymore. You know, it's kind of cool to see that happen. And I just had a bunch of friends come visit us in Park City. And a couple days ago, my friend Holly, she called me on FaceTime, and she was like, Liv, guess what? I'm drinking coffee right now with cream and butter, and I'm intermittent fasting till 2 o'clock every day. And so, you know, she watched my family do it every day. She watched them get up at 7 in the morning. She would watch my dad sit here and work all day and not touch food until 5 o'clock. Yeah. And he looks great for his age. My whole entire family was like, that's your dad? Like, he looks incredible. Like, how are they doing that? My brother looks great. You know what I mean? So it's just kind of cool to see, you know, my friends, you know, valuing that too, I guess. Yeah. Listening to me. That's kind of cool. Yeah.
Well, she's a teacher at heart, and she's actually going to school right now, and she's going to chiropractic school.
Yeah, I'm a bio and nutrition major at Florida State, and I think I'm going to graduate a year early and go to Life University.
Sooner the better.
School.
Sooner the better. And, you know, because that's what's her calling. You know, you can tell it's her calling, right? I mean, how do you know something's your calling? When you start realizing all these lives around you that you influence in this way, right? It's like, you know, no doubt that's her calling. Detox is another big thing. I said that when she, you know, became older, then she started getting some of the effects, some sensory integration. She had some pain sensitivities, smell, etc. I mean, you know, even taste sensitivity.
Yeah, and one of my friends, my roommate actually, she told me this story one day that when she was little, she had a really bad mold problem in her house. And, you know, I live with her, so she tells me all of her health problems, about how she can't wake up in the morning, how she's so groggy and she has fatigue, and I mean bad fatigue. She can't even go to the gym. She's so tired. And she's like, I don't know why I feel sick all the time. And I'm like, well, didn't you just tell me like yesterday that you lived in a mold trap for a year? You're like, when you were a kid, like, that's why. I'm like, you have to be detoxing. And so I'm actually having her order DMSA. Like, we're gonna start detoxing her. And yeah, so it's kind of cool too, like that she's in college, I'm in college, and you know, everyone needs to start getting their health back.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, so she started detoxing later. You know, like, you know, Dylan went through stuff earlier and then put it aside. And now she's like, she had these symptoms crop up, and now she detoxes all the time. I mean, she knows how to use cyto detox. Believe me, she knows.
I had a lot of my symptoms come out after I had gotten a concussion. I got a really bad concussion, and I don't know what it was. To be honest, I don't know yet. I'm gonna figure it out one day. But it triggered it. Honestly, it triggered it, and I started seeing horrible fatigue, fogginess in my head. I mean, bad, where I couldn't focus in school. It was really bad. And so that was when I finally was just like, I have to detox. And I've been detoxing ever since.
Yep.
All the time.
Wow. And you noticed a big difference after your concussion since implementing the detox?
Yeah.
Well, you know, I'll say something about the concussion. When I do a history with someone, I look for traumas, physical, chemical, or emotional. Physical trauma, especially to the head, it can open up the blood-brain barrier. So when you get a concussion, you're actually allowing more toxins to cross into the brain. And, you know, we knew that they were in her body, and, you know, we knew she needed to do more detox. Well, that was it. I mean, when those symptoms started,
it was like the skin thing too. You know, I needed something to push me.
Yeah, most people
and
do.
The fogginess in my head, I'm not kidding you. I could not think. I couldn't get up in the morning. I could barely work out. I couldn't even work out. And it really pushed me, you know, and once I'm into it, every time I detox, you know, I feel it in my head. I'm like, I need to detox. And once I started again, I feel great. So it just, yeah, got to push myself to do it, even though it really isn't fun sometimes.
Right. Well, and that's part of it. I think so many people too, who maybe have had head traumas, traumatic brain injuries, concussions, different issues, wouldn't connect detox as being a healthy support to, you know, supporting healing of a brain trauma. So I think that that's a really important.
And just another point, great story. I had gotten a second concussion actually in Spain. I fell and hit my head on the floor in Spain. Not even kidding you. I was horrible. I had to go to the emergency room. It was worse than the first one. The first one, it was a car accident. Second one, I knew it was coming, right? I knew the feeling in my head that I had that concussion again. And it was this fogginess in my head. I literally felt drunk. It was this unexplainable feeling. And I called my dad. I was freaking out, you know, like so upset. I had just gotten back to Spain and I couldn't even travel. Like it was so bad. And I could barely walk. It was bad. And he called me. He's like, live fast. I fasted a water fast for 5 days. Most remarkable thing ever. I woke up on the 5th day, walked downstairs 8. I felt 100%. It was like my concussion just went away. It was just a miracle. Like the fasting literally.
I had sent her, I don't know if you read it, but I had sent her a paper that was written, research on fasting and healing concussions. The results were dramatic in the study.
Dramatic.
Yeah, and then a study's one thing, but a second concussion takes 4 times longer to heal. This was her second concussion. And we had went to Life College and we put her in this gyroscope.
Yeah, I had treatment and everything. I went all the way to Atlanta. The first time I went and had treatment. It really didn't really work that well for me. I don't know why. Maybe it just wasn't right. But honestly, I think most of the symptoms was also my toxicity too.
It was.
But yeah, the second time he was like, Liv, you have to pinpoint that inflammation by fasting. You need to fast. And I thought it was crazy. I was like, oh, I'm not going to not eat for 5 days. Like I had done the fast before and I hated it. I was like, never again. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
It was miserable.
But with every fast, people get better, right?
Yeah,
and I think that was your second.
That was my second time I did it. I did it over the summer too. Yeah. It was easier.
But day 2 though, I got the call. I'm miserable. I'm sticking out. You know, and
in Spain, I called him in Spain and I was like, I can't do it. Yeah. But I did it, and I woke up on the 5th day. And I kid you not, I could walk. I was fine. I traveled that next weekend. It was amazing. It was amazing. Like fasting, my fasting story. That's my fasting story.
And fasting heals the brain. I mean, it heals the brain regardless. You know, I mean, you have something traumatic like a concussion, it's proof positive of what fasting can do. I mean, it's the combination of super high ketones during fasting, you know, the reduction of the inflammation that happens during a fast, you know, can heal the brain just like that. So, yeah, gosh, she's really experienced so many things. That again, she's called to it because she's going to remember those experiences.
Just like him, he's got his stories of God.
Exactly. From pain to purpose. I always show that right back there, that
so
picture
true.
Right there. Oh my gosh, here, let's just embarrass her a little bit.
Oh my gosh, I used to have really bad glasses.
Can you pick out the right, there she is over there. And there's Dylan. You can tell her. No, look, I'll talk to you. I mean, he just wasn't right there. I mean, he wasn't. Poor Dilly, man. He's still, that's when we just had gotten him at age 7. And you can tell he's not, I mean, if you met him today, of course, you'd be like, really? You were on the autism spectrum? He's completely, you know, different than that, obviously. But This one is, I got to name them for you just so Daniel, who we've interviewed here.
So yeah, that's the Pompa squad.
That's Isaac. High lead. That's Simon. Oh man, just wait till I bring that kid on the show one day. And of course that's Marilee, and I don't know who that guy is, but that's Olivia. But that's from Pain to Purpose. And that picture up there is a little bit, can you see that up there?
Mm-hmm.
It's the same damn picture, isn't it? Is it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's another version of the same picture. So anyway, same
Mm-hmm.
group. I thought that was later on. I have a new one coming, just so you know. All right, so enough of that.
So yeah, Meredith, what else do you want to know?
Wow. Well, I mean, we've covered a lot. So, I mean, I think I just want to recognize you for the inspiration that you are at your age. I mean, I wish when I had been 20 years old that I had the knowledge that you have and the impact that you're having on so many people. I think it's fantastic. And the strength that you have to be in a college environment where you're cooking all of your meals and you're staying so strong. So I just want to applaud you for that, first of all, because I think that is not an easy thing to do. And maybe, you know, over time it can seem easy, but yeah, you should be so proud of her, Dr. Pompa, because
I would not know anything without him. I wouldn't know anything. So I'm so blessed. God is good.
I'm blessed to have a daughter like her, that's for sure. I mean, she's called to this. And right now, out of all of my children, she's the only one that I know is going to take this message on. So, you know, the other ones, they're up in the air. Who knows? But, you know, she is no doubt she's called to it. And she's a world changer. You know, her story, you know, if you only knew the details, right? It's like, my gosh, you know, just from pain to purpose. You know, I showed that picture because all of us in that, you know, really have an amazing story.
It's all a journey, that's for sure. And I'm still getting my health back. I just took a urine toxic metal test and I just saw the metals in my body, and I'm not as healthy as you would think I am.
Yeah, you know what my message is to her now, Meredith, and you know, and everyone on this show watching this knows this. Physical, emotional, and chemical traumas. You know, my dyslexia was a trauma that caused things. You know, my sickness, you know, was a trauma. Going through everything with all the legal stuff, adopting, you know, the kids was a trauma. And it's like, imagine losing at 7 years old, your mother and father, you know, and, you know, understanding how that all went down, how traumatic that was. Her next step in healing is the emotional stuff, you know.
And we all have to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you know, EMDR therapy, I'm telling her she needs that stuff, right? It's like, you know, I mean, everyone, and I hope everyone listening, it's physical, chemical, and emotional, and we all have traumas. And when you remove those emotional traumas, that reduces cellular inflammation, just like removing chemical traumas. You know, so that's the next journey for her, you know, getting through those emotional traumas. She went through counseling. They went through counseling when they were younger. And the counselor back then said, okay, they're as far and they're as good as they're going to get now. But when they get to become teenagers and early 20s, they're going to need more counselor. Bring her up here, grab her. And Remy, come. And so anyways, and sure enough, I think that a lot of it now, she's ready. You know, she's ready for that next stage of detox. True cellular detox is emotional detox as well. Now this one here, isn't she just so cute? Just look at her,
my goal before I have kids is to have my health great. I mean, I want to be the healthiest mom out there.
Oh, that's sweet. And she will be.
And
Trust me.
I'm going to teach my kids.
Meredith, she reminds me of you. She creates recipes. She's on it. I mean, you know, just like you. I mean, you know, it's like very creative with the food. And, you know, I wish we had more time. She could tell you some of her things that she just puts together, you know, on a daily basis.
Is there anything else, Meredith, that you want to ask me?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think too. Well, hey, what's a fun new recipe you've been working on? Give us a little something fun.
Well, after coming home from Italy, one of my favorite things to do, and my friends love it too, is I literally just do chicken breast with like vodka sauce and like cheese. I don't know why. That's just like my favorite meal right now. And I put like pesto on it. I mean, I just studied abroad in Italy, so I'm like, I have like this pesto mindset right now, I guess. But I eat it literally all the time. So that's just like a fun idea. You just throw it in the oven and it's easy.
Yeah, that is
so easy and it's so good.
What's typically what would be your first meal in the afternoon? Let's say you eat at 3 o'clock. You know, what would be a first meal?
I love eggs. Not everyone loves eggs, but I love eggs, and I eat eggs on these fiber crackers. They're just fiber, literally, and I put tons of butter on it, and I eat it with eggs and veganese too, because it's good fats. That's definitely something I would eat. What else? I love like turkey breast with veganese or cheese. Just high fat, and a little bit of protein. Yeah, that's what I usually eat.
Yeah, and I think the simpler the better too. It's so many, people sometimes tend to think, oh, like the ketogenic diet or the cellular healing diet, like it's so complicated. How do I change all these things? But for me too, I mean, it's so simple. It's clean, it's good fats, it's clean proteins, it's lots of, non-starchy veggies, strategic starchy veggies, and it's just real food. So it's so simple.
It's really hard for people, especially, college kids too, that, want to do everything that the book says, right? And they all think, oh, a high fat diet, there's no way that can be healthy. But then, you tell them why. You say, okay, well, the fat you're eating today isn't healthy. It's genetically modified. There's hormones in it. It's not the way God intended it to be. It's not how it was originally supposed to be. And so you have, that's what you have to teach them. You have to say, the reason why fat today isn't healthy in America, because it's not. Truthfully, it's not.
It's education.
You have to eat the right kinds of fat, and that's hard for people to understand. They don't understand what grass-fed meat is, and so that's what I'm just so driven. I want people to understand that, and college kids need to understand that.
Yeah, and I think like you just said too, it is education, and that's what people are lacking, and that's why we need truth seekers and people like you, Olivia, who are going to go out and spread the truth and share information with people so that they can make informed decisions about how to live their lives and how to be healthier.
I wonder, and maybe you can answer this, Olivia. College kids today more than ever. When I went to college, I didn't know anyone taking medications. How many?
Everyone. Oh my goodness. I've never been on an antibiotic once, and strep and pink eye a week before coming home. And I had strep and pink eye. Like, what? Yeah, and
in other words,
all my friends were like, Liv, like, get medicine. I'm like, no, like, I'm not going to do that. Like, we need to, we use antibiotics too much. All my friends, they go on Z-Packs all the time, and it's just, they're becoming sicker. They're getting sick all the time. And I'm like, well, your body's not, your immune system isn't building itself.
I mean, you have friends, I mean, not close friends, but I mean, antidepressants.
Oh yeah.
I mean, just like how many college kids are taking antidepressants? I mean, from Adderall to who knows what else.
People are abusing drugs today, and it's really sad, and it's going to catch up to us. And it's not, I mean, it's destroying our bodies too.
You know what makes me most proud? It's like of my children. It's like, Olivia's in college. It's the hardest place to be, right? I mean, you're surrounded by people who are doing a certain way that's acceptable to them. Taking medications, stimulants, surviving, it's like wait till they hit their 30s. I mean, Meredith, autoimmune. Imagine the diseases that are coming. They're leaders. It's like they're leaders. Just not taking the drugs makes their brain going to work better, let alone the food. I mean, it's just unbelievable.
And vaccines. Yeah. When my friends were here, I was, they commented, oh, I don't get vaccines except the required ones. And I was like, oh gosh.
Yeah. How many take flu shots? No. How many are taking flu shot after flu shot?
Lots of them. And I'm like, okay, you don't get vaccines, but you take the required ones? No.
Here's what people have to understand. Remember, before age 7, when we went to visit them, and again, they were just kids, seemed like they were always on antibiotics. Matter of fact, there was antibiotics in the medicine cabinets. I mean, that's
okay. So I have had an antibiotic.
Yeah, no, but her point though, but this is the point, is before that, and then after age 7, which is, her new life, she hasn't been on an antibiotic one time ever.
Never.
I mean, none of my children have ever. So my biological children never have been on an antibiotic in their life.
I'm jealous.
Yeah, never.
Oh my gosh, am I jealous?
Still.
No vaccines. I wish I wasn't vaccinated. That'd be awesome.
But bottom line is, the point is are we just really lucky, or do we have a different philosophy? It's a different philosophy that everybody can adopt.
Yeah, and here's another story. I was in Jamaica on a mission trip, and I stepped on a rusty nail, and they all said, you need to go to the hospital and get a tetanus shot. And he was on the phone, he's like, heck no, you don't need a tetanus shot, you're fine. And
well, it was like, I said,
right?
I said,
the story?
I mean, it's anaerobic bacteria, right? It was like, that's what tetanus is. The nail was exposed in sunlight.
People are just so quick.
It was impossible to have tetanus because it wasn't underwater. Anyway, so I was like, the heck with that, right? But anyways, bottom line, she was fine, of course.
People are just so quick to throw drugs in their bodies, and that's the problem today, is that we're abusing drugs. We are, I mean, there is a time and a place for them. Like if we were to get super hurt or super sick, of course, that's
time and a place. Absolutely. But Olivia represents, a generation that is the sickest generation, really, that's ever walked the earth. I mean, this generation is doomed. Probably even worse is the generation under her. That's probably, the really sick generation. Her generation is much sicker than my generation, no doubt. And it keeps getting worse. But it is, the leadership of kids like her that are being raised with a different philosophy that health comes within, remove the interference, the body can heal. I mean, that's the way we live our life. It's as simple as that. I mean, and because of that, the outcome is different. I believe leaders need that mindset today. I do. So anyways, that's it, Meredith. I mean, there's just another picture of what God's doing in our life.
I think it's amazing. And I think your story is amazing, Olivia. And thank you for sharing. And I just want to know if you have any parting advice for, maybe kids your age who are watching the show, or adults of teenagers, or those who are in college. And what would you say to them to encourage them to stay on the path, or to maybe to jump on the path?
Well, I don't know.
I'll start and she can finish.
I've said everything.
Here's the thing. I think that I don't know who we were interviewing last time. I don't know, but people today are sick and they don't even know it, right? Meaning that if you look at that generation, they are so experienced. I know who it was. Daniel's, my son Daniel, his girlfriend's here from Florida visiting, right? And this is another great story. She, when she first came here, I was like, man, Daniel, she is sick. And he's like, I know she is. I mean, she would literally have to sleep several times through the day just to get through the day. This young girl, right? And so he started influencing her, and she fasted. Now I think she's fasted like 3 or 4 times, right? And the last fast, I don't even remember how many days she did, but I said to her, I said, Chrissy, my gosh, your health is so different now. She's like, oh my gosh, I didn't know how sick I was. That's where that came from. I didn't know how sick I was. She said, I just thought it was normal. She goes, because most of her friends were like that, where she would get up 2 hours later, she had to sleep again. She had no energy. She was wiped out, doing what Americans do. This generation is doomed. If you understand that that's not normal, there's a starting place. Don't wait. If you're on medications, there's something wrong that you can do something about. Look upstream. So that's my advice.
Yeah, I mean, advice, obviously, you need to do your research, and people need to educate themselves. And I know that's hard because they think that everything in the books is right, but it's wrong. It's really not. Everything is not right. And I mean, my other advice is stop eating McDonald's first.
Yes, yeah, exactly. Get out of the processed fast food.
I guess, I mean, another piece of advice is I'm tired of my friends coming to me and saying, like, why am I gaining weight? Why am I gaining weight? And I tell them every day, I'm like, what do you mean, why are you gaining weight? Like, you're not eating well, like, you're sick, and I give you advice and you don't do anything with it. So actually, my advice is to actually do something with the knowledge that we're telling you and that you're learning, because you're learning it. You're just not doing it.
That's it. Good advice.
Just do
That's
it.
my advice. My advice is just do it.
Just do it. I love that.
It gets easier. It really does get easier.
It does over time. And at first it seems like a mountain, but once you're on the other side, it's a whole different journey, and it's amazing. And the influence that you guys are having is awesome. So, well, thank you so much, Olivia, for sharing so much today, your wisdom. I'm so excited to see what God has ahead for you. So thank you so much for joining today.
Thanks, Meredith.
All right. Thanks, Dr. Pompa. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.